Hey guys, welcome back to the basement. Quick note, I wanted to thank Joseph Espinoza, a viewer of mine, for sending me this Paint on Freights shirt. He has a Facebook page called Paint on Freights, and I've worn it a couple times in videos, and I don't know if I've really actually thanked him for it, so thanks, Joe. Today, we are taking a look at an MTH release, HO scale release, which has not been very frequent releases from MTH and HO scale, but we've got a whopper for you today. It's the 5-car Streamlined passenger set, smooth side in Norfolk Southern from MTH, and there's also 2 individual cars. So we'll crack into these and see what you get from MTH next. Here's a quick view of the item numbers before we bust into this. For you Norfolk Southern fans or Excursion fans that want to be able to see what you get, it also really quickly goes over some of the features of these cars. They have overhead LED lighting. They operate on a 22-inch minimum curve, and the back one has illuminated drumhead and marker lights on the back car, separate metal handrails, KD couplers, coaches in this set, along with a diner and observation. There's 4-wheel trucks and a detailed undercarriage. So let me just zoom out here. We'll get the lid off this thing. Noticed MTH is putting the label on both sides of the box. Really convenient for storing it and being able to see what's going on from your shelf to see what you got in the box here when you're wanting to decide what to operate. Quick manual talks about setup. You've got lighting, part number for replacement lighting boards. They do have a steam heat connection pipe on the bottom that is usually under the coupler box, so shows you that you can remove that if you change couplers. Inside this box here, can't fit all this in one screen. Beautiful Norfolk Southern set. Love the colors of this thing so far. But we got to get to the content here. Really can't wait to run this. I've been looking forward to this since it's been announced. And I know we're looking up at the ceiling there for a second. We'll go back down here. Slide this out of the clear plastic sleeve it's in. And pop off the top. First time I've been opening this. First time I have opened this, so got hard plastic with soft plastic protecting it. There's your Norfolk Southern side there, and I don't know if this car is prototypical. It may have been at one time. I know it. I have not seen it currently on the rails with Norfolk Southern, but this one's the Pennsylvania. They've got all the cars labeled. This is the closest you're going to get, I think, in plastic or even brass to Norfolk Southern OCS special set with cars. So when you've seen like Southern number 630 or 4501, when Norfolk Southern commissioned them to run some steam excursions for their employees, you see some of these cars and car names in the consist. So there are some accuracies with some of the cars and accuracies with other cars. This is more of, I think, a one-size-fits-all representation more than exact excursion modeling on these sets. So don't want to bore you with any more unboxings. You know, these boxes are a lot more robust, I believe, than the past passenger cars from MTH in terms of protection and stuff. So I'll just unbox one single passenger car. Again, a manual. Already went over what's in that manual. I'm just going to show you inside the box there. Same plastic sleeve setup, just singular, obviously, versus 5. So that's all there is to that. So we'll get all these out of the box. We'll look at the cars and move on. All right, we're going to take a look at this car starting from the front. I've chosen the observation car because it has the most detail of any of the cars to talk about. You have diaphragms on the end, which are spring tension on each side. Got the KD couplers we talked about, coupler cut levers. Got that steam line there. accessory hoses for the air brakes, You have a coupler cut lever detail that's very detailed, along with this excess hand or grab iron detail and step ladder detail on the ends. Keep an eye on these little guys. Some of them go flying, disappear out of your package. So keep an eye when you're opening your package. Open it very carefully, because some of these could easily have to be reapplied. I've had to do it on a couple of these. No big deal. Just something to keep an eye on unboxing. Don't manhandle things like I often do. As we look on the corner, separately applied grabs again. You have an antenna running all the way across the top that's metal. Separately applied grabs on the roof for roof access. Interior detail is definitely happening there. You've got window partition areas over here. You've got, looks like the beginning of a blind up there, and then a fully detailed interior that has a different color floor than the furniture and chairs and tables in there, and different areas have different color furniture. I noticed in this car. Pennsylvania on the side. I'll try to zoom in so you can see some of that detail I'm talking about. But Pennsylvania on the side, Norfolk Southern and NS7, all very clearly written, very clearly printed here. Gonna move on down here where you see marker lights. Those are supposedly illuminated, along with more grab irons and step ladder and nice truck detail there. Just out of frame. There we go. As we swing around the back, and they're definitely free rolling as well. So it took off on me there, but as we swing around the back, that's where you see more detail. You've got the safety bar over the window. I think that's what they call it. Little angled, or a little bit of curve to that. Lit drum head, another McHenry coupler, another coupler cut lever, metal piece, and metal grab irons below. So pretty cool there. Top of the car, as you can see, has these little joints, welded joint areas. And this is more of the same on the other side of the car of the Pennsylvania here. So we're going to take a look at the underside of the car. As you can see, lots of underbody detail, kind of blue paint on from where the interior of the car shows on the outside there a little bit. You got blue, I guess there's blue walls, but I can't really tell, or maybe that stops at that area. But point is, really nice underbody detail, including that area over here above the couplers where the steam piping goes. So that runs, if I remember correctly, it runs warm steam to keep the cars warm and some of the accessories on the cars going. So that's what that represents. I did look up Pennsylvania NS7, like I mentioned earlier about it being kind of a fantasy scheme. The actual car is an observation car with a back platform. So MTH is representing that car with this car. But in terms of people that want to be prototypically completely accurate out of the box, that's not the case, and there's really no way to do that with this car without some serious kit bashing. All right, we're just going to run down the other cars quickly, point out a couple different details. This one's NS29. It just says Powhatan Arrow on the side. I forget how to pronounce that. You can give me a hard time in the comments. There's that free rollingness again. Other side, same. Some window detail there. A little different. You see a little hard to see, but I'll zoom in. See some of the intricate detail on the window, including these 4 little squared areas to show some of the ornamentation on the windows. So next up is the Kentucky. This is a diner car. You see the roof vents for the kitchen area on this car, some of the smaller windows for the kitchen area. Again, a lot of the same features, sprung diaphragms, etc. 80 couplers, all that jazz, and underbody detail. New Jersey is next. Similar to one of the ones we just looked at. Should be a regular coach car. Not a whole lot of roof detail, but variations. You do see the depth of the diaphragms there, how it goes deep enough to enter the car like on the real thing. So it's not really shallow diaphragm detail or end detail on those cars. Again, with the underbody detail on that. Here's yet another coach, I believe, with NS28 versus NS29, Pohat and arrow on the side. And underbody detail, again, not a whole lot of roof detail or differences from what we've already covered. Here's the New Orleans car, NS number 18. Again, a diner car. We've already covered all the details on that. At this point, I am just a glorified Vanna White for you to see. There are blue seats and white tabletops inside. Probably a little hard to see from this standpoint. I will try to get that captured on camera for you. Might be able to see it right about that angle. But nice interior detail. Here we have Louisiana. I believe another coach, NS number 47. All the detail we've already covered. Just, again, glorified Vanna White for you. All right, we're going to take one of these and check the rolling. Seems more than fine, very free rolling there. Take another one of these and check body wobble. There's no body wobble going on there, so that is good. I will spare you guys the details on the NMRA. Everything was good on coupler height and wheel sets. I'm about to check weight here. According to the NMRA, this should weigh 7 ounces. It weighs 6.8, so very, very close. 0.195 kilograms, 0.43 pounds. So 6.8 ounces. NMRA says HO scale rolling stock should be 1 ounce plus a ½ ounce for each inch of car body. These are 12¼ inches long. So that's how I got my number. And this is the first piece of rolling stock in a long time that's been that close to NMRA standards. All right, lights are dimmed out, and you can see on the back the lit drum head. You can see the lit marker lights right here. They're fairly faint, but very consistent lighting in the cars. As we look at the cars here, I've got all 7 on the track, all 7 lit up. And when you move the train, except for when I just derailed that, you don't have any flickering. So that's very good. I've moved the train back and forth on this very dirty track. No flickering, very consistent lighting. I'll give you one more view from the side here. All right, a side view coming around here to several of the cars. The camera is not a fan of this lighting, so we're gonna have some focus issues for a second, but that shows the interior detail. You can see the blue seating there. As I roll a couple of cars by here and get to the observation car, again you can see some of that multicolor interior detail. So very nicely done, and again flicker free. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the review of the MTH HO scale Norfolk Southern passenger cars. Again, a 5-car set and 2 individual cars that you can buy to make the 7-car set. Overall, my thoughts are the fact that I like its lighting, flicker-free lighting, good detail, and although not prototypically accurate, they run smooth, they're very free-rolling, and they meet NMRA standards in weight and in wheel sets. On the coupler height, I originally said NMRA standards were met, but I did notice some inconsistencies car to car. So you want to make sure you even those out so you don't have some uncouplings on some uneven terrain. With that said, I'm going to leave you with a run-by of the MTH Norfolk Southern cars, along with the MTH Spirit of Roanoke number 611, which is what often pulls these cars in real life. MTH really did a great job with that engine, and I love the whistle. You'll be able to hear that in the run-by. We'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.